Many of the towns in southern Lebanon were reduced to rubble after the 2006 war with Israel. The Iranian government gave more than $1 billion to help reconstruct towns like this one, Bin Shebail. And many of the crowds you see here today have simply come to pay their respects.
Packed into a stadium and welting under the sun, supporters cheered and released balloons into the air, while helicopters circled overhead to protect the Shia leader, who spoke in Farsi about the resistance and Palestinians' right to return to their homeland. These tanks once belonged to the Israeli army. They were abandoned by Israeli soldiers and are now museum pieces. Just a few of the so-called attractions at Lebanon's Resistance Museum in the mountain town of Melita. The museum was built by the militant Shiite group Hezbollah on a hilltop about 50 kilometers from the Israeli border. Like these tangled wires at Borja Barajni camp outside Beirut, the situation of Palestinians in Lebanon is complicated. The dangling wires kill 4 to 6 children every year, but the people living here can't do anything about it because they're forbidden access to proper supplies. The living situation in the country's 12 camps is not the only concern for Palestinians. It's basic rights they want.
أنا كفلسطيني بدي حقي. شو حق العمل؟ إني أعمل. حق التملك إني أتملك مش معناتها إني أنا بدي أتوطن مثل ما يقولوا إنه هذا قناع. بدي حق الاجتماعي وحق الاقتصادي حتى أعيش بكرامة من أجل إني أصبر وأقدر أصمد للعودة إلى فلسطين.
Over the weekend, the Security Council held an emergency meeting to denounce the violence in Gaza, but the U.S. voted against a proposed statement saying Hamas would not comply.
We don't see any prospect for Hamas abiding by these terms and issuing a statement at this time that would not be adhered to and would have no underpinning for success would not do credit to the Council.
In the meantime, Gaza residents are suffering not only from dangerous rocket attacks, but from lack of food, fuel, and medical assistance. New York is not a winner-take-all state. If Barack Obama comes close to Clinton, he may win nearly half the 281 delegates up for grabs.
The delegates are awarded proportionally, so Obama has a very good chance to come out and take some delegates from New York.
Obama, 08, New York State.
While Senator Clinton has the endorsements of many prominent New York businessmen and politicians, Obama has been picking up big-name backers. Dubbed the Sheriff of Wall Street, Governor Spitzer first made a name for himself as New York's Attorney General, cracking down on organized crime, financial excesses, and, ironically, prostitution.
You'd have to say that he made a mark taking on Wall Street. For example, he tried to take down the CEO of the New York Stock Exchange, Grasso, which he certainly did.
The details of his transgressions, including paying $1,000 an hour for a high-end prostitute and meeting her at the Mayflower Hotel in Washington, D.C., have New Yorkers riveted. Some are angry.
I think it's pretty reprehensible.
I think it's a sad day for New York and for him.
But on Wall Street, there's a feeling that the man who caused corporate America so much pain is now in personal pain himself.
It's a fitting end. He had a lot of opinions about rights and wrongs, and he clearly was a hypocrite.
Their plan was to terrorize not only the Jewish community, but lash out against the U.S. Army as well, by striking military planes with surface-to-air guided missiles. But their plot was foiled before it even got off the ground, by federal agents who had been tracking their moves for a year. They were arrested Wednesday after they planted what they believed to be bombs in cars parked outside the synagogues.
General Electric was up more than 4% on an upgrade by investment banking company J.P. Morgan. But it wasn't just the commodities and materials rally that helped spur gains on Wall Street this session. A bit of deal making over the holiday weekend also got investors in a positive mood. Well, Jenny, Intel reported after the closing bell last session, but the windfall was really felt this session as Intel shot up 7% on reports that their quarterly profits were not as bad as the street expected. In fact, much better. A lot of that strength in the tech sector came from earnings results from BlackBerry maker RIM. Research in Motion finished up 10% on Friday at $70 a share.